Hi, this is Patty McCready of pattysdreamscape.com, and I'm doing a little different video tonight. This is video number 45 of the Internet Lifestyle 100-Day Video Challenge, and I'm kind of losing my voice. I've got a very bad cold, so I'm sharing something that I saw on a news station tonight that I thought was really important. And a lot of people that watch this won't know who this newscaster was, but Paul Harvey was a well-known and beloved newscaster until his passing in 2009. And he had a wonderful show on every day on the radio, twice a day in the morning and at noontime. So I'm going to play this video for you, and I will appreciate any comments. It's just very meaningful to me and to my family. We believe deeply in what Scripture says about the coming days, the coming years, however you want to look at it. And there was a man who had a broadcast in 1965 who couldn't have known that 40 some odd years later for sure that it would come to pass. But I believe you'll find this most interesting. Anyway, enjoy, and I will see you at the end of the video.
If I were the devil, I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. Thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve. Do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, but what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing. Paul Harvey. Good day.
Okay, I'm sure that a lot of us can recognize that some of those things have already come to pass, and in lieu of our government being closed down these last 2 weeks, I think it's pretty prophetic what we're hearing in this. And I know that Paul Harvey was a man of God, and in his honor, I wanted to play this because I think that it's a pretty sad statement. Remember, it's what the devil would want, is what he's saying, not what he believes in. But if the devil wanted to have his way with us, and apparently he is, because a whole lot of that has already come to pass. And, you can say it's a sign of the times, and just ignore it, or we can pay more attention to it and do something about it. Anyway, folks, I hope you have a great evening, and this is Patty at Patty's Dreamscape signing off. Thanks and good night.